Hello lovely people, it is Obaa Yaa. If you're new to my channel, I say welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning back in. In today's video, I want to talk about heat styling and how to deal with heat damage. Maybe you're someone who's trying to incorporate more heat into their regimen, or you just want to know a little bit more about how to use heat with natural hair without causing any damage. So if you are interested in knowing more about how to style your hair with heat and what to do when it goes wrong and you get heat damage, then stay tuned. But before we dive right into this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on the post notifications so that you are notified when I upload my new video. Also, check me out on Instagram. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into the video. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into the video. By the way, this is a wig. If you're wondering, yes, this is a wig. All information about it is linked up here so that you can know more about it. Anyway, let's continue. There's flat iron, there's blow dryer, there's the curling wand, whatever, hot comb, hooded dryer, steamer. I think those are basically the main styling tools that we use that can be used in styling the hair that require heat. These styling tools are divided into direct and indirect heat. Styling tools that fall under direct heat are flat iron, hot comb, curling iron, and blow dryer without a diffuser. Direct heat because the heat comes directly in contact with your hair. Because the flat iron, for instance, touches your hair directly to make your hair flat, the curling one touches your hair directly to make your hair curly. These things touch your hair directly. Your hair comes in direct contact with the heat. The same applies with blow dryer. Your hair comes in contact with the heat from the air that is blowing through the blow dryer. That is, if you're not using a diffuser. The diffuser, like the name says, diffuses the heat so that it's not as harsh. Indirect heat are hooded dryers, hair steamers, and heating caps, because your hair doesn't come in direct contact with the heat, but you can still feel the heat. Obviously, you can still feel the heat. If used incorrectly and if used over time, it can also cause damage to your hair. Healthy hair starts to burn at 230 degrees Celsius. That is 451 Fahrenheit. When flat ironing your hair, when using heat, you have to take that into consideration. Most importantly, the thing that you need to take into consideration when you want to flat iron your hair is your hair strand. Is how thick is your hair strand, or how fine is your hair strand? Can your hair withstand the heat? For fine hair, the safe temperatures to use shouldn't exceed 150 degrees Celsius. That is 302 degrees Fahrenheit. For normal to medium hair strands, it's recommended not to exceed 180 degrees Celsius, which is 356 degrees Fahrenheit. For coarse hair, it is recommended not to exceed 200 degrees Celsius to be on the safe side. Okay, in this case, if you want to flat iron your hair, make sure to use a flat iron where you can set the temperature on it. Because if you don't set your temperature, if you aren't able to set the temperature, the heat is going to be, in most cases, the heat is going to be too much for your hair, and you're going to burn your hair, or in worst case, melt your hair. Because I've seen some horrifying videos here on YouTube where some people try to flat iron their hair, and then the next thing is that the hair just fall off because it melted. Based on the chart that I showed previously, we know that fine hair, the maximum amount of heat that you should use for flat ironing fine hair is 150 degrees Celsius. But if you have coarse hair, 150 degrees Celsius would not be enough for you to get your hair straight, because some people want to get their hair bone straight or silky press or all that kind of things. And in order to achieve those kind of looks, you would have to increase the heat to a certain degree in order to achieve that kind of look with your hair type. Of course, it depends, like I said, on your hair strands. Before flat ironing your hair, you should do a strand test. Take clean shed hair and flat iron the shed hair to see how your hair reacts. Based on that, you can get a sense of how high the heat setting can be without getting heat damage, okay? So if you know that you're gonna flat iron your hair anytime soon, start saving up some clean shed hair and then do the test on those shed hair, and based on that you can know how high you can set the heat settings on your flat iron. First of all, before you decide to flat iron your hair, you should prepare your hair for the trauma that it's going to experience, because yes, applying heat on your hair is trauma for the hair, because you're going to put the hair through a lot of stress in order to achieve a certain look. So before you do that, make sure to have clean hair and deep condition your hair properly with a very moisturizing deep conditioner, and also doing a protein treatment before that. Before you put any sort of heat, prepare your hair for this trauma. Basically, prepare your hair for the trauma that it's going to experience in order to limit the chances of having heat damage. If your hair is properly moisturized and strengthened through the protein treatment, your hair is less likely to get heat damage. Now, before you apply the heat on your hair, make sure to use a heat protectant. The heat protectant serves as a barrier between your hair and the heat. There are different kinds of forms in which you can find the heat protectant. Usually it's either liquid or it's a spritz. Like, those are the two forms I think they come in. Before you apply the heat on your hair, before you do anything blow drying your hair, make sure your hair is not dripping wet. Do not start flat ironing your hair on wet hair. I repeat, do not start flat ironing your hair on wet hair. If you do that, then you're really calling for heat damage. Make sure that your hair is damp. Make sure that you towel or t-shirt dry your hair, whatever you use. Make sure your hair is dry and not wet. Then you can start the blow drying process. It depends on what you're doing. If you're just going to blow dry your hair, then you can go ahead and blow dry your hair. And if you're going to flat iron your hair, of course, the proper measures to take in flat iron your hair is blow drying it first and then applying the flat iron. Heat damage cannot be reversed depending on the severity of the damage. Your hair might, if you're lucky, get back in shape, but it won't be 100% the same way as it used to be. It won't be 100% the way it used to be, but the curl might come back again. But in most cases, you just find that your hair will be limp and straight, and it will look similar to having relaxed ends when you have heat damage. And the best thing you can do in that case is to cut the hair if it bothers you. Some people are not bothered by the straight look because maybe they don't wear their hair in wash and goes or whatever, because they wear their hair in different styles, or the position that the heat damage is not very visible, so they will just leave it. But if you are someone who is bothered by it, especially if it's more in the front section and it's obvious that your hair goes from curly to straight, then the best thing to do is to just cut it off and let it grow back again. I know for some people it might mean losing a lot of inches, and unfortunately that's just the way it is. You have to suck it up and cut it if it bothers you, and if it doesn't bother you, then just rock it like that. I'm not going to sit here and say cut it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to cut it. If you don't want to cut it, leave it there. When we use heat, our hair is going to lose a significant amount of protein, regardless of if you're using it on a low setting. The protein bond has been severely damaged and broken to the extent that it can't fix itself again. Usually what happens with hair when you flat iron your hair is that the protein bond shifts, breaks, some you lose some, and some just readjust and reposition themselves in order to get the straight look, okay? And then if you're lucky and you wash your hair, everything shifts back to the way it's supposed to be, and then your hair is curly again. But if you have heat damage, the protein bonds do not shift back to the original state. They just remain the way it is after you've applied the heat, and then that's just it. Then it's like adios amigos. Adios amigos. Some people have managed to recover from heat damage. That means the hair needed time to revert back again. And in that case, they did a lot of protein treatment because, like I said, the hair loses protein, and that is where most of the damage happens. So lots of protein treatment and lots of deep conditioning can help to get the hair back to its original state. When I do this, because the hair won't fully be in its original state because it's experienced the damage. And this is what we need to know, that anytime we use heat, the hair experiences some sort of damage, okay? Because the heat alters the hair chemistry and everything, and depending on how often you use heat, the damage can build upon itself. I have flat ironed my hair twice since being natural. The last time I flat ironed my hair was a year ago when I celebrated my 9 years anniversary, and I can insert a picture right here and the video to that right there. And apart from that, I do occasionally blow dry my hair, as in not like blow dry my hair, but I would apply some heat to the roots if my roots are still damp. That is if I want to wear my hair out. But it's been a long time since I did that. It's been a long time since I did that. I'd say, I think 4 years ago, that was the last time I used the blow dryer in that manner. But how I do use my blow dryer is when I'm deep conditioning. I put on my plastic cap and I use my blow dryer to apply heat because I don't have a hooded dryer. That's the other way I apply heat. I don't do this all the time. So guys, this is all that I have for you today, and I hope you could pick one or two things from it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have any questions, suggestions as to what kind of video you want to see from me, then leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to like if you did, to subscribe if you haven't already, and also to turn on the post notifications so that you are notified when I upload my new video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay blessed, stay healthy, and stay safe. See you again next week Sunday with another video. It is your girl Obaa Yaa, Obaa Yaa, Obaa Yaa, Obaa Yaa. Bye.